Gentlemen and ladies and gents.
Who here pays rent?
Not me.
Do you have renter's insurance?
No.
You don't?
No.
Do you want to get some?
Renters?
Mariah needs to get some, needs to insure somebody by today.
Why?
It's like $10 a month.
For what? I don't know.
Renter's insurance. No, like if you can get it if you're at college. Because like you're technically, it's not like you're paying mortgage. And if something happens to any of your things. The thing is, I'm saying it, it sounds funny, but she literally asked me yesterday, do you know anybody who would need it?
What would I can't think of something that'll happen to my stuff.
Lost, stolen, broken.
That just doesn't happen.
It could happen to you.
Shout out Mariah for having such a great salesman of a husband.
Let me know what's it, bro. I'm so proud. I wish it was like some type of LED or something. All
right, I'm ready.
I know you're ready. I'm like this. So usually when I start a podcast, we just chop it up, and then once I figure out a good segue, but honestly, how long are we gonna be here for?
Up to you, bro.
What time is the service at?
7.
Okay. We'll make this one concise.
Interesting.
So you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I forget what my intro was. I think I clapped something like. First thing I want to say to everybody is thank you for being so patient with me. I've been just trying to figure out all these details to get everything together. But if it's your first time here and you have no idea what this is, it's the Revive League. What is that? It is a basketball tournament league. Now, I got it labeled as a league. We can see where God takes it, but right now our main focus is October 11th. We've been waiting for a day. I know I got a bunch of y'all asking me, when's the day, when's the tournament? Look, the tournament is officially October 11th at the LCCC Gymnasium, okay? It's a Saturday. The event's gonna go from 9 to 5 p.m. I'm gonna share all the details. I'm gonna get into everything in the next couple of slides. But thank you for being patient with me, and click there for more info. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a minute on the Foundation Podcast. I promise you. I'm trying to,
you're good, bro.
I haven't done this in forever, bro.
It's natural.
It's not natural. But I have a new face, a familiar face. He was gone, came back, and now he's here.
How you guys doing?
So why don't you introduce yourself? Who are you, and how long have you been walking with the Lord?
All right, my name is Miguel TORRES, aka T Cuts on Instagram. I'm also a barber. Hit me up.
Blurt that out.
All right. I've been walking with the Lord. I guess since I was a kid, but I did have my breakaways.
True.
So
multiple.
Yeah, multiple actually, but. I guess 2, not multiple. That sounds crazy. But since I came back this year, I guess since this summer, I've been consistent.
Okay, so you say you came back from school, and that's when you started.
I locked in.
Like you took it serious.
Yeah.
So what was different? You said multiple times, right? Even though we joked about it, you were in church. So you were born and raised in church, and then you kind of high school, middle school, you just decided to kind of put it to the side. What was like the first time you?
So my parents were pastors, and they divorced.
And that led to?
And I was like, I blame God, and I was like, I'm done with this. There's no point of this.
And how old were you when that happened?
I was like 13.
Oh, wait. And then because you did Royal Rangers, that was like the age you did Royal Rangers, no?
Yeah. It was probably like a year, so probably like 12 actually. 12, I think. 12.
So was Royal Rangers when you started coming back into church?
Yeah.
Oh.
When I met Johnny and everybody.
Okay. So, right now, version of Miguel right now, I would assume you had a good summer, kind of building up.
Amazing summer. The Bible studies were fire. Shout out Omar.
Man, shout out to God. Damn, Malios. If you had to describe right now your relationship or your walk with God, encompass it in one word, what would you use?
I would describe it as different. Or either different or changing.
Okay. So different, What's different? Is the mindset different? Is the approaches are different? What's different?
Yeah, I feel like
You're different?
just me specifically, but like kind of, I don't think it's that God, like, all of a sudden decided, okay, this time I'm gonna try this. At this time, I kind of opened up my heart, like for real. Like, I decided I wasn't gonna play no games, and it kind of this came from like before I was really not forced, but like kind of pressured, like oh go to church, go to church. Once I found it, I liked it, but I was really there, more friends and everything, and I enjoyed it.
Your community, you had.
Yeah, but I found it when I had nothing when I was in college, when I left all my friends in a bad situation. I was in college, and one would think like, oh, he's in college, he's living the life, but I was like surrounded by the bad stuff. When I had nothing, I was like, I actually need to get back in contact with God.
So this was before moving back, or
before moving
finals,
back, yeah.
or
like finals of college. Like
what was like the turning point? Was it like on the weekend you realized this is just not the way I want to live anymore, or what was that turning point?
Well, see, like the funny thing is, so I would go out to drink and all that stuff in college, and every time I went out, I kid you not, there was always an old man waiting for me outside of like the bars wherever I would go, and I have pictures of this guy, and I would like every time I would see him, he'd give me a tratado, which is I don't know how to say it in English, but it's like
people say tract, but I don't like that word.
A
card.
A card with like, oh, like, do you know about God? Yada yada yada. But it was like it would never fail. Like every weekend I went out, I would see him. And so that like kind of got me thinking like, oh man, I'm doing this wrong. I know God's calling me. And then I'm a musician as well, and I was like I had the urge to like worship and everything, but I was like, I'm not right. Like I can't just go to church and just do that. Like I have to actually build a relationship with God. And so like one weekend I was just like, you know what, I'm done. Like I'm gonna like
you just decided.
I was like,
I'm
gonna start reading the Bible. And that's how I started. I had my Bible collecting dust in my shelf. I like grabbed it. Blew the dust off it, I started reading slowly. I was like just getting into it, and then when I came here, I was like, which is like kind of crazy because I didn't think I would ever do it. I actually like quit my job. I quit everything that I had planned. I was gonna play baseball this summer. Whoa. I was gonna work like overtime, and I quit my job. I didn't do any baseball things or anything like that, and I just literally solely focused on going to church.
Whoa, that's actually, I didn't know that. That's a pretty big decision. That's quite literally leave everything, pick up your cross.
Which is why I say it's like different for me, because that's not the kind of like, I mean, from what you've seen, you see I like to hustle, I like to create content. I'm always like moving, doing something. So it was different in the sense that like I actually like I wouldn't say sacrifice, because I really wanted it this time. Yeah, so like I quit everything and I said I'm just gonna go to church and follow God.
Dude, and that's such a big thing, because on paper I feel like people who don't have the Holy Spirit or just haven't acknowledged that they're in need of a Savior, they would look at something like that, and if you told them like, oh man, give your life to Christ is great, and then they'd be like, nah man, I'm not gonna give up playing my sport or working and just do nothing. Like they wouldn't understand what goes into it. But I'd imagine for you, maybe at some point it was you were nervous. I don't know, were you nervous at any point when you decided to make that decision, or did it feel natural to you?
It was like both, in a sense. Like it was like not.
You felt at peace when you did it, though.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna do it, but like it's good that I'm doing it.
Because that's like the biggest thing when it comes to the Holy Spirit, is that we make like, as Christians, we kind of make crazy decisions to do things and live our lives in a certain way and abstain from doing certain things, but it doesn't feel, there's not a burden, you know what I mean, that of like a dread of, oh, I can't do this, I can't smoke. Like I don't ever wake up and I'm like, oh man, I wish I could smoke or I wish I could drink, because there's not a desire for that. Yeah. And I feel like with you, that's what it sounds like, where you weren't fighting within yourself like, nah, I need to work, or oh, I need to play baseball. It just was like, you decided, God, this is what I'm doing. You put those things in His hands and you just let Him work.
Yeah, I was just like, I just kind of felt like, God's gonna supply me with whatever I need. There's no need for me to like go out and be like super anxious or worry about it. And like honestly, this summer, it's crazy. Like again, I'm somebody who's used to like cutting hair, working. Somebody who always has like something, like some type of money to go out. Yeah. Things like that. And so when I didn't, but it was like I never like needed anything in a sense. So God like took care of that and
wow, dude,
What's up, everybody? It's your boy T Cuts. First off, I want to say congratulations to everybody who started school. Hopefully it wasn't nothing too stressful and that you guys got through it. I want to come on here to finally announce that I will be releasing a booking website this week where the first 7 people who book will be getting $10 off their cuts. I hope to see you guys soon, and I will also be announcing some of the series that I will be doing now that I have some new equipment. Some of them are faith-based, and then some of them will include some of the athletes or OSU students. So if you want to be a part of the video, also please book, and I'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, it's the whole money side. I'm experiencing it a lot now, like with the house, and sometimes I tried to explain it or come up with some way. It's like, oh yeah, no, we were fine because, you know, really we didn't have that many bills. It's like, bro, there's just so much going on. Like, we got slapped with so many like random bills for like random stuff that, you know, the fact that even me, like, I'm not working, you know, dedicated 40 hours. Mariah's doing her thing, and we've had talks of like, oh, well, we need to make more money, this, that, and the third. But like for us, bro, our first priority has always been like, just put God first. You know what I mean? And seek, quite literally, my mom has always preached this: seek the kingdom first, everything else will be added onto you. Yeah. And that's something that I've been trying to like super just follow and live by. It's like, why do I need to stress anything? You know what I mean? Like, God's given me wisdom and discernment within the things I know about. Everything outside of that, it's like I gotta just leave it to Him, because I can't even begin to think about everything that could possibly go wrong. And I'm the type of person, like, especially when I'm learning something, I need to understand everything about that thing in order to really go in. Like, I feel like if I wasn't raised in church, I would be one of those atheists that were like, no, because this and that and
Unbelievable.
that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'd be like, nah, because logically this. Because you ask anybody, my parents, my friends, my family, I'm always coming up with questions and things of that nature. But the one thing in my life that has been super prevalent is like, I've seen and I've experienced God move in unexplainable ways. You know what I mean? The things that I've worried about, you know, and once I chose to not worry about them, they've taken care of themselves. So that's super awesome. What about, so within this process, or even in general, right? It could be a life verse, a verse that maybe you picked when, or that stood out to you. But what would you say is a verse that was most influential to you? And you could paraphrase. I know sometimes
influential. I don't have like
like your go-to, like, this is my anthem right here.
Not a verse, but ¿cómo se dice? Like a story in the Bible, the prodigal son, or the lost son, whatever.
No, it's the prodigal son.
The prodigal son. Yeah. So, what happened was I had made a very hard decision, which we've talked off camera what it was, and that decision, when I told my dad about it, he knew how much it would affect me. But I also told him, yeah, but like, I did it for good. Like, I'm doing it because I want to get closer to God. Like, I want to be close to God. I want to experience God. You know, I want to just be with Him. Like, I want to give it everything to Him. And he told me about the story of the prodigal son, and I was like, he was like, oh yeah, read so and so. So I was reading it, and at first I'm like, I'm not understanding this. I'm like, why am I reading this? And then like I started looking at it a little deeper, and then like when it talks about like how your brother where like your brother was dead and now he's alive, things like that. It was just kind of reminding me like wow, like I'm coming back to life, and this is his process. And then there's also like a testimony that I have other than the prodigal son, like a verse that hit me. Forgot how it goes, but it might be Ecclesiastes. I'm not too sure, but it talks about how, like, don't worry, for I am creating something new within you. Don't you already see? I'm going to create, like, rivers or in the dry wasteland or something like that. Basically saying, like, don't worry about what's going on. You see that I'm working. Just let me work. I'm going to do the impossible. And this was while I was making the incredibly hard decision for me. So when I saw that, I just started bursting out tears. Like, I was like, there's no way. Like, God, I felt like that was, like, one of my, not first, but like one of my most impactful experiences.
I mean, bro, you got to think about that. Like, when you talk about what are the odds of that even happening, it's like there are 66 books. Like, right now, let's do an exercise on the count of 3, and if we hit, then we hit, whatever. We're gonna say a number 1 through 66 to see if we even land on the same number. Ready?
Bang.
1, 2, 3. 31. It ain't happening.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, the odds of you even picking a book that is going to impact your life, let alone a specific verse that relates to you in a specific moment, the probability of that even happening is just so beyond what any man could orchestrate.
But you know what's crazier is like I didn't even pick up the book. I was on the phone. You know how the Bible app be sending you like random verses?
It wasn't the day of the verse of the day?
Yes, bro. It was like it just popped up, and I have it set to like 12 p.m. I've always done this. I've always set like my verses to come at night because at night is when you're like chilling.
Okay. That was your reminder. Yeah. I think mine's like at 7 a.m. or something.
So I'm just like bawling my eyes out, and I'm like, God, like, are you sure? Like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Like, I don't want to I don't want to do wrong.
Yeah.
And God, like, ding, and it says like, don't worry, Brian, I'm creating something anew. Don't you already see?
Bro, here's the thing, and this is advice I'll give you to take, because you in an era where you're gonna be making a lot of decisions, what you want to do as a person, offers, this, that, and the third. Me, something that I've lived by is don't fear the mistakes. Yeah. You know what I mean? God is the only person that can take those mistakes and make something beautiful. The world can't take our mistakes and make something beautiful. God can take hardship, grief, sadness, and make it beautiful. And I think I talked about this story before, and I've told some of the other Hoveners, like, bro, I heard this preaching. The guy, he was telling a story about a pastor who his son was at a barbershop getting his hair cut. And his son had to have been, I want to say 14, 15, right in that age. And a kid of similar age came through, fired off a gun, and killed his son for no reason. There was no connections. There was no, did this person know this person owed money, none of that. And it was just the most one-off crazy thing. Obviously, the dad is saddened by this. And they go to court, they're doing the proceedings, and the judge is basically like, how, like, in terms of charges, like, how bad do you want to press? Like, what do we want to do here? And, you know what I'm saying? He felt the Holy Spirit tell him to just, like, give him the least charge, whatever. So he has to be, whether it was jail or juvie for however many months to a year. And while this kid was in jail, a couple months go by, and he feels the Holy Spirit again, to tell him to start writing letters to this kid. So he starts writing letters to this young man, and he starts learning more about him, and this, that, and the third, and he realizes that he didn't grow up with a father, and he's learning all this stuff about him. And at the end of the sentence, he had gone, the letters turned into visitation, so now he started visiting, talking with the kid.
Getting close.
By the end of this, bro, he felt God, like, put it in his heart to adopt him.
It's crazy.
Bro.
It's crazy adopting the guy or the kid.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And that's the type of thing, bro, when you give those, like, that's just a crazy situation in general. And it's like the fact that God can do something in that, like, father-son relationship, it's a super prominent, like, every story of the Bible. It's like Abraham, Isaac, God, and Jesus, just like giving, would we be willing to give up?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Our firstborn, our own child. Like, I'm not even there yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why at the Bible study, I was like, think of the person you care about the most. Because I could imagine for a parent, like, that firstborn child or just any of your children, bro, it's like, you're not giving them up for anybody. So for him to go through that and to not feel malice or hatred, anger, obviously that extended forever, like, it's crazy to me. You know what I mean? So, like, me, I'm not going to stress making mistakes or doing this type of thing because, bro, I got to leave all that stuff in God's hands. You know what I mean? You could choose to do something and it may be it or it may not be the move, bro. Yeah. But you have to trust that God is going to make a way. You got to operate within your own wisdom and discernment, though. It's like, okay, well, if I do this, this could be a potential consequence. This could be pros and cons. You know what I'm saying? You're a smart dude, so it's like weigh it out and just understand that regardless of what you end up deciding, obviously pray about it. It's like God's gonna make a way, and that's just something I've seen in my life. It was like, even when we got this house, my parents were like, don't get into too many projects, you know what I'm saying? The projects add up, da-da-da-da-da. And in the bathroom upstairs, I don't know if you noticed, the doorway is a little narrow.
Yeah.
Like, you got to kind of jimmy in there. So I wanted to knock that wall down. And I'm like, but I had already knocked down a couple of things
So you
and
was just like,
broken some stuff.
like
yeah.
wall breaking.
I was trying to,
Yeah.
I was trying to get some projects done because, you know, we got the house in December. We were getting married in April. So I'm like, let me figure this out. So I knocked down that wall, and I didn't realize that the vent that goes out of the top of the heater, that's where it was going up through. So I was like, all right, that's fine. I'll open it up. But I noticed at the top, the vent was disconnected.
Okay.
So that air, that's where the carbon dioxide.
Yeah. So you guys.
Not dioxide, monoxide.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. And bro, like, I'm not even gonna lie, I think the neighbors told us that the guy that lived here was like super old. He died of a stroke. And that's like, bro, a stroke is a cause of like carbon dioxide. So I literally, like, that was just something that, like, bro, let's just do it. You know what I mean? And like, had I just been like, oh, you're right, let me just not because of this, that, and the third. Like, I'm just like, even though it was maybe a mistake and I had to cover back up, you know, like, glory to God that we seen that and we were able to, you know, get it fixed. My god sister and her husband, they pulled up, and he does HVAC. He pulled up, told us what we needed to get, and we fixed it. But it's like simple stuff like that, bro. And that's, you know, my advice is always like, look at what God's doing in the little things. Because something like that, you could overlook it. Because we're so used to, oh, what's big, what's flashy, what's new, what's popping, what's fresh, what's all of these things. But like something as simple as that, no pizzazz, no this. It's like, bro, like God really protected us. Mm-hmm. Even in me potentially making a good decision or bad decision up to the masses to the side, he protected us. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like operating, like that's fear, bro. Like us talking about fear with the Bible study is just so key because we get so nervous to do stuff. Like how you was asking me when you were cutting my hair, it's like, do you ever get ashamed of doing X, Y, and Z? And it really just comes down to what are you fearful of? You know, they even say fear is related to procrastination. You know, people take forever to do things because they're worried about what the outcome's gonna be. And like, we can't be procrastinating Christians in that aspect.
Himself, the one driven by pain and performance, that version has died.
Some of my other questions were like, you know, in what ways has God shown his faithfulness? But you kind of already hit that on the head with, you know, how he's been taking care of you in the summer. So I would say in this process of change, coming back from school, you decided to, you know, do away with certain things in your life.
Yeah.
You could choose if you want to get into it or not, but what advice would you give to somebody who they're in the college transition back and forth? They experienced their first time at school. They seen what that life was like. They maybe did some things that they're ashamed of that they don't want to go back to. They came home, they kind of reconnected, and now they're going to go back out into that wilderness. What advice would you give that person?
Honestly, I would tell them, like, don't be afraid to, like, let God guide you. Don't be scared in the sense of, like, yeah, you're going to go back, right? And that's, like, I guess you could say, like, the place where you were falling and whatnot. Like, you know, in the beginning you did wrong, whatever. But God has changed you, and you have to, like, believe in that, and you have to, like, work based off of that. Like, you're not the same man that you were before. So if you're somebody who's giving your life to God and you're looking to do right, I would say keep that same relationship that you've had with God that you've been building up. Like for me, for example, this whole summer, solely focus on getting closer to God. Keep that same relationship going and, you know, keep him in front. And I feel like as long as you keep God above all things, everything will work out perfectly for you. Or not perfectly, but, you know, everything will be good.
Hey, perfectly in our eyes, you know what I'm saying? Because it's going to go perfectly in God's eyes.
Exactly.
Sometimes for us, we don't understand it.
Exactly.
It's like, why did this happen this way?
But it's going to go according to his will. That's what the biggest thing I ask God is, like, whatever happens to me, I, like, just let it be your will. Because, like, I'm scared of, like, doing things and then, like, you know, messing up what he got going on in me because I want to be dumb and I want to do my own thing. Like, and I feel like that's a very possible, like, outcome, especially for somebody like me. Like, I can easily just be like, oh no, I want to focus more on the content or the barbering stuff. I don't want to really get into church. I really don't want to like give that. I don't want to center that around God. And then who knows? Maybe like I'll somehow blow up because I'm doing like Christian stuff. But since I wanted to go ahead and not center it around God, then I stay where I'm at.
I told all the guys last time, I'm like, look at everything you do, just do it for God.
Yeah.
Be the best at it. I know, one of my best friends, Poole from college, he gave his life to Christ because, the number one QB1 on the football team came up to him and was like, how's your relationship with Jesus? And when he gives that testimony, he's like, he was like dumbfounded. He's like, yo, because his mentality, his pride, his confidence was in football.
Yeah.
So he's like, why is the best guy talking to me right now? He's over here thinking in his pride, like, I'm not even worthy to be talking with the best player on the team. Yeah. And because of his status, his work ethic, because of what he did and what he did put forward, and having God in the forefront of it, bro, he can use that for God's glory.
Yeah.
So it's like, even in the business, even in all this stuff, bro, you want to have God in the front. I'm not saying everybody has to just, Jesus. Like, me personally, I want it to be Jesus. Yeah. But everybody got to start somewhere and just have Jesus on the forefront of your mind, and you're going to see the fruit of it. Don't make like your first objective, like, let me slap a Jesus label on it. It's like, nah, the Jesus label should be on your heart. And from there, everything else is gonna gonna flow, bro. Because how the Bible says, like, from the abundance of your heart, the mouth speaks. It's like, I'm really not interested in talking about something other than Jesus. When the guys want to talk about things that are not edifying, like, that's just not my conversations. It's not my cup of tea. I don't have to fight myself like, no, I shouldn't be talking about this, but I'm gonna talk about it. Like, nah, bro. I want to edify God. I want to represent God. I want to talk about God, and that's really what it is. That's how it, like, kind of how I feel like when I'm cutting hair, right? There will be times where I'm just talking, yapping, so how do you like college, whatnot.
But then there's also like that fire. That's like the best way it's like that fire inside me.
You got that urge, like, you're like, oh.
Hey, but you know who God is.
Yeah.
But Jesus. And then, like, I feel like that's also something I've always prayed for, like, especially like this summer. I was like, Lord, don't let this fire, don't let this passion that I have to get to know you more and to get closer to you, like, die out. Like, continue giving me this fire, and, like, I'll do what you want with it. And I feel like, I think I was talking to you about it earlier. It's like I was in college, and I was just thinking, like, I don't have the same desire. Like, I have another desire now. Like, I just want to go out. I want to find Christian stuff to do. I want to, like, talk about God. I want to do Christian things. And it's like that fire that I have inside me that God's put in my heart, and it's like it doesn't go away.
Bro, the way that I feel about everything in relation to my faith right now is, like, I feel like I put so much trust in God, and that's why I tell people, trust God with the little things first. You pray about the depression, the anxiety, these really big things in your life. I'm like, trust Him with something very minuscule. When you're in the drive-through and they mess up your order and you want to get mad, like, bro, just be like, God, give me patience. That's something very minimal, no consequences, no nothing, bro. Just, God, help me in that. And let it grow. Let it grow into the bigger areas of your life. Because I feel like, for me, I feel like I've trusted God so much where it's like, I got no option but to trust Him. Yeah. It's like, I'm not the best swimmer. You know what I'm saying? I've always been tall enough to stand in the pools. So I've never had to really. I remember the first time I went into a regular pool, I didn't realize it got deeper. And it was at school. And I swam. It was me and my two buddies. And I swam all the way to the other side. And that's like, bro, the other, like at the YMCA, for example, it goes from the 3 feet. The other side is just 6 feet. This goes to 12 feet. And I didn't realize I swam all the way to the other side, bro. I just stopped swimming. I thought I was going to touch the floor. I just started fighting. I'm like, yo, wait a minute. Where's the floor at? So I just started fighting. I grabbed the edge. My friends are looking at me like, yo, Omar, are you good, bro? I'm like, I'm good. But I say that because, bro, it's like, if I'm looking at Jesus and I'm walking out into the depths, into the waters with Him, bro, at some point, I'm so far away from the shore, I have no, like, option but to trust Him.
But to trust, yeah.
And there's a lot of people I can think of, bro. You see their lives, and they were so far, and they looked away from Jesus, and their lives are almost like just in shambles, bro.
Yeah.
Because they took that, you know what I'm saying, they took their gaze off of him. It's like, bro, Paul and Silas are in the jail cell.
Yeah.
You got this far because you trusted in God. Why am I not gonna trust him one more time?
Yeah.
Why am I not gonna trust him one more time?
Especially like then where like you can see where like God is he has the chance to glorify himself there, like right there. Like I feel like that's when we should most trust God. Like when we're in the lowest, that's when God can really,
bro.
Like that's when he'll do the big stuff.
Cause that's the stuff that like nobody can believe it. Like with Forrest Frank, bro.
That
it's like that whole stuff is just crazy to me. Like it was super crazy to me, and it was just awesome to see because bro, like how many people I know for us. Like, we hear a lot about stuff in, like, churches in Dominican Republic and over there. And it's like God's doing miracles.
Healed the blind man.
Yeah, this and that. It's like I feel like, have seen miracles within, like, the American Christian Western world community. So to see that was just, like, super encouraging. But that's an impossibility to some people. So for him to be willing, I mean, to share that, to really give that to God, because what people do is they treat prayer like venting. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, God wants to hear from you, but it's not a God. I'm dealing. This is what I'm dealing with. This sucks. I'm sad. Fix it, and that's all they do. God is listening to you like this, and He wants you to not only tell Him about it, but to earnestly give it to Him, because that's where the faith comes into play. Because now you actually put it into His hands, and the faith is trusting that, all right, bet you have it. You're going to do what you need to do with it. Mm-hmm. But some people don't want to do that. They just want to talk about it.
They don't want to let God work.
They don't want to let God work. You know what I mean?
And I feel like that's why we don't see it a lot. Like how you talked about, how we see it more over there in like Dominican Republic. And how you two, like what you were talking about, like how I feel like those countries like that, they don't have, not that they don't have the resources, but they don't have it as
Bro,
as
if
good
I have
as
a headache,
here.
if I have a headache, 3 minutes to the store, get some medicine.
Straight.
It's not like that over there. They're almost like how we're saying, so deep in the jungle, so deep in the waters where, bro, the only option is to trust God. Because what can I do, bro? There's nothing that, you know, I mean, I don't know too much about the world over there, but I know it's not as organized as it is over here. But we have so much control where that's why it's super important for us over here to trust God with the seemingly insignificant stuff. You know what I mean? It's like we're playing basketball and I got mad. Well, I got to trust God with that. I'm over here trying to figure stuff out with my classes and technical difficulties. I got to trust God with that. It's not issues that they have over there, but to me, it affects me. It affects my pride. It affects my emotions. So because of that, I got to give it to them.
It's crazy because like over there, they have so little that they have to trust God. Not that they have so little, but you know, they don't have as much that they have to trust God. Over here, we have so much that it's hard to trust God. Like people don't really.
You can get stagnant. You can get complacent.
Exactly.
And just like
it's like comfort.
I can live a comfortable life and never talk to God. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Versus over there, I mean, the default version of life is like you gotta grind it out. You gotta work. You gotta do what you need to do.
Yeah.
So for us, you know, in our lives, you know, it's super important to depend on God, which kind of leads me to my last question. I know you said you've been going strong for the summer. So what would you do if Jesus wasn't the foundation of your life?
If He wasn't?
Mm-hmm.
If Jesus wasn't the foundation of my life, what would I do?
Where would you be? What type of person would you be? Who would Miguel TORRES be? What would happen to T Cuts now?
I don't, bro, to be honest, I think if Jesus wasn't the foundation of my life, I don't think I would be in college.
Really?
I don't know. I don't think I would have been in college. I think, honestly, I'd probably be like some random, like,
rapper?
Not rapper, but I definitely like I'd be here doing something stupid.
DJ Joey
like, I don't know what I would be doing. Yeah, I'd probably be like in the corner saying what's up to everybody. I don't know. Oh,
bro. In the streets?
Probably
living
bro,
it up.
Like
as one of those guys.
When I think of like Jesus being the foundation of my life, I think of like since I was like raised, right? Because that's when it all started. Like my parents were like guiding me down that path, and like since then.
I did not know your parents were pastors, man.
Long time ago, man.
Bro.
Iglesia del último llamado. That's what it was called.
wait. Like, Iglesia del último.
Like, Iglesia Pentecostal, el último llamado. That's what it was called.
Oh, so.
Yeah,
Shout out Pentecostal churches with their names are crazy.
Yeah, well, hey, we had that little. I don't know if you've ever been to the Pearl Avenue.
No, I don't think I've been to a church
Lorraine?
on that. I haven't been. I've been on the street, but I haven't been to a church on that street.
Well, it was like a little building. It has an orange wall and it has the Lorraine painting on it on the other side.
Oh,
of
I know the Lorraine painting building. Yeah.
Literally that building.
Oh.
That was the church. But I feel like since then, because I was guided that way, like I always had like a good head on my shoulders. Like I always wanted to do good. So if that was taken away from me since I was young, my parents would have been in the streets. I probably would have been in the streets. It just would have been bad. Like I don't think it would have been good at all. Like really, honestly, the reason I feel like I'm where I'm at is because of God. Like in terms, He's put a good head on my shoulders. He's made me think about my future and what I want to do.
Bro, I'm liking it, bro.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing, man. So thank you.
No,
Thank you for pulling up, and then thank you guys for tuning in. I really hope it's still recording.
Imagine it's not.
That would be terrible. But hey, we'll see you next time with Natasha.
Cartagena.
Cartagena. But hey, thank you guys. We'll see you later. And then they'll be like music that pops up.
Check out the website.
Oh yeah, T-Cuts for the cuts. You boys get them right.
Check out the hairline, the little